All right, my friends. Well, welcome to my kitchen. This is where it all happens. Very basic, simple stuff. We're going to make a salt, oil, and sugar-free pasta sauce today that's loaded with flavor and intensity, but none of the blech stuff. So let's get started right away together. So I've got some celery, some carrots. I've got some onions. I've got some fresh garlic. I've got some different spices from my friends at Fresh Jack's. And then I've also got some whole peeled tomatoes from Italy in a BPA free container, along with some nice from the same company, Bio Nature, a nice tomato paste, which gives the intensity of this sauce. So we're going to start out very, very straightforward and very simple. We're going to start just with our onions and garlic. Remember, you always want to chop that little bit there, take off the end there, peel out your garlic. Now, if you want to, you can start with just, pre-chopped garlic that comes in a big can. I like mine fresh. So again, we're just going to chop the ends off and then peel down the paper on either side, right? You can use a smaller knife if preferred. It's even a little bit better. You don't lose as much of the garlic itself. Then we're just going to get rid of all that. Now we're going to chop right down the middle of my garlic, and then I'm going to take my knife and just make some nice little thin sections across here. I'm going to do the same thing with this next one. I'm going to make some long, thin slices. You can see them there, and then a couple slices across. So this makes it easier. You want a good sharp knife for this, and then you want to obviously protect your fingers. One of the keys I like to use is I rotate my finger a little bit like that so the nail is there. So if I hit it, I'm just going to hit the nail. I'm not going to take off the tip of my finger. And that seems to work quite well over the years. So making nice little chops. There we go. We got our garlic. And you can do it finer than that if you like, right? And kind of get some of the smaller pieces, or use a garlic press if you prefer for time. Next, we're going to take our onion. We're going to chop off the end here. We're going to chop off the other end here. We're going to throw those out. Then we're going to peel down the sides, right? Get rid of all that paper on the outside of it. And then we're going to take it. We're going to chop right down the middle of it. Boom. Then we're going to go slices across, nice thin slices. Here, 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 and here. Then we're going to go right across. Chop, 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 chop. And again, chop, chop, we go. Next, we're going to go again, same thing. Nice, long, thin slices here. And then we can chop right in. Chop, 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 chop. So now we've got that already. And I've got my pan right over here. I'm going to reach and grab. And we're just going to throw our onions and garlic in there. There we go. I also have a couple cups of some clean water. We're just going to add that in. I'm going to put that so you can see right there. There we are. I'm going to put that on the stove. I'm going to get that gently sauteing. So I'm going to put it on high for a moment or two to get it up and running. Meanwhile, I'm going to come back here. These got some old celery here. I'm going to chop the ends off because they're already yellowing. Same thing there. And I'm going to chop off the ends of my carrots, which I've already washed. Then I'm going to slice down the middle because I like my pieces of celery a little bit smaller. Some of these I'll leave. And then we're going to come right along here. Same thing. I'm going to stabilize what I'm cutting. Just slice, 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 slice. Here we go. Getting nice little slices and chunks. Just working along here. And same thing. Working through, getting that celery nice little chopped up pieces. There we go. We're ready with that. Then we're going to take my carrots. I don't like big chunks of carrots too big. So I'm going to chop right down the middle. And then I'm going to chop one more time down the middle, stabilizing and then coming through. Same thing here. So there we go. We get all that. Now we're just going to come right along, chopping right through. Hope you're chopping right along with me. And got that one done. Now, my wife likes a lot of carrots in her pasta sauce. So we are going to make it a lot of carrots in there. Adds a sweetness, right? Adds a fullness, a heaviness, more of a completeness, if you will, of the sauce rather than just being overly light and thin. Just working along, chop, 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 chop. All right, so we got our carrots, we got our celery ready. Now, if you have access to fresh tomatoes that you can boil down yourself, awesome, use those. But if You live in a busy world and a busy life and a busy house. Well, then get some that are in cans, but are a good quality without a lot of added stuff into them. Okay. So I'm going to grab this. Again, this is this Bio Nature from Italy. I already opened the can. Here it is. And what you see is we've got these steamed tomatoes that are peeled, these Roma tomatoes. So I'm just going to dump the whole can in. And then what I'm going to do is grab the Roma tomato and chop it about 4 or 5 times. Now, using a knife this way is really great and allows you to do so much more. So you need to make sure you practice doing this because you can get through a lot quickly. So I'm just chopping along. And there we go. And get all of them, right? I love the flavor of these. As a boy, I remember my mother making fresh sauce with some of these and just, I'd walk up and say, feed me a tomato, mommy. And they're just so delicious if you've not had them before. So sometimes they're called pomodori pelati, but just the peeled Roma tomatoes with nothing added. There's no salt in this, in these. There's no oils. And again, BPA-free bottle, which I like. Next, I rinse my hands off. I can reach with my cords. And what we're going to do next is we're going to grab our tomato paste. Again, no salt, no oil, nothing but organic tomato paste in there. And open up that. Really rich, intense flavor here. We're just going to spoon that in and mix that in with our tomatoes. What does that do? Well, that's going to give you a lot more intensity to your sauce. And is that intense flavor, that richness that really compensates for the absence of oil and the absence of all the salt as well. And you'll see with the spices that does that as well. So we've got that in there. We're now going to mix it in. Mix, right? And we're good there. So that's all ready. Now, I'm going to turn the camera, see if I can keep things in the shot here. So what you're looking at right there, you see we've got our onions and garlic now sauteing in the water, and they're bubbling nicely. So I'm going to try to see if I can take you over here, right? So you can kind of see that there. So kind of bubbling nicely right in there. And on there, good. So now we're just going to add in our celery and our carrots. I usually let the onions and garlic go for a couple minutes before I add all of that. So we could have gone a little longer, but it'll cook well. And we'll keep on adding our onions, celery, and our carrots. I'm going to stir that a little bit just to kind of get it all to mix in. And if you feel like you need more water, add a little extra water for volume so nothing's burning, right? And so I'm going to grab a little extra water, but I'm about to add all my tomatoes and such as well. So there, water. And now we'll take our tomatoes along with the tomato paste, and we're just going to pour them right in. Good. And there we go. Put that in. Mix all of that together nicely, right? So you can see all the onions, the garlic, the carrots, the celery, all just mixing nicely together. And now I'm going to add some cracked black pepper. The cracked black pepper gives a nice little sort of edginess to the sauce. And good. And then we're going to add a little chili powder. I actually like a tiny little dash of chili powder to it. Nothing came out. There we go. And then we're going to do some oregano and a little basil, right? So get some of that in there. And again, you can see kind of some nice from my friends at Fresh Jacks. And then we're going to mix all that in together. So now we've got this rich sauce going with all of those nice spices. And we didn't add any oil, any salt, and it is going to be a flavor celebration. It is going to be amazing on the taste buds. So there you have it. A couple minutes and you've got a nice fresh sauce on the boil. After about 5 minutes, drop it down, right? So it's just barely simmering. Let it go for about 30, 40 minutes, even longer sometimes if you want. Gives you more of an intense flavor, which I really want that intensity in my sauce. And make a lot of it, and then you can use it for the recipes, whether it be in my 4-week virtual program or just for your standard enjoyment. All right, I hope you enjoyed this brief video. Go make some pasta sauce, SOS, and enjoy it. All right, everybody, have a great